that the big beautiful bill, which should be called the big destructive and ugly bill, attacks on healthcare and will align 1% wealthy people pockets with more money. Hey Supah Citizens, it's POM-J. Y'all ready? Let's go! Today, we're stepping outside our usual format to talk about one man whose presidency shook America to the core. The kinds of things he's been up to makes even his predecessors look like choir boys. They would even be proud and jealous of him at the same time because they would have never dared to challenge the U.S. Constitution the way he has. This episode is called Top 13 Trump Disasters, The Damage Done. Let's get into it.
If I want it, then I go get it. Yeah, no limit. If I want it, then I go get it. Yeah, go get it. If I want it, then I go get it. Look, no limit. If I want it, then I go get it. Make it rain, get a pint.
Hey Supah Citizens, it's POM-J. Y'all ready? Let's go! Today, we're stepping outside our usual format to talk about one man whose presidency shook America to the core. The kinds of things he's been up to makes even his predecessors look like choir boys. They would even be proud and jealous of him at the same time because they would have never dared to challenge the U.S. Constitution the way he has. Love him or hate him, Donald Trump left a trail of chaos, and I'm not just talking about the tweets. I'm talking about real-life damage to our health, our democracy, our communities, and our planet. This episode is called Top 13 Trump Disasters, The Damage Done. Let's get into it. Number 1, COVID catastrophe. Trump downplayed the virus, mocked masks, pushed false cures like hydroxychloroquine, and yes, even bleach. Over 1 million Americans died. Experts were ignored. The CDC was sidelined. Public trust eviscerated. Number 2, family separation at the border. Under his zero-tolerance immigration policy, babies were taken from their parents. Thousands of families separated. Some kids still haven't been reunited. Human rights organizations called it what it was, state-sponsored cruelty. Number 3, January 6th, insurrection. He told his supporters to fight like hell, and they did. The Capitol was stormed, 5 people died, officers were injured, democracy shook. This wasn't just protest, it was a coup attempt. Let me share a personal story with y'all. In July 2021, I was driving Lyft in Los Angeles, California, and guess who was a passenger of mine? I would have never guessed it either. My passenger was Michael Fanon. He was the main officer who was dragged into the crowded MAGA mob of terror and was beaten and tortured. Fortunately, he survived. We spent 2 hours driving through traffic talking about the insurrection and all the event that transpired that very day. When the ride was over, I dropped him off at a very famous actor's residence in Malibu. Sean Penn, number 4, undermining elections, the big lie. He lost the 2020 election, but refused to concede. He pouted and threw temper tantrum. He pushed the big lie that it was stolen to feel great about himself. 20+ states passed voter suppression laws because of it. Not only are voter photo ID laws ineffective as means of combating voter fraud, the use of restrictive voting laws to disenfranchise minority voters can be traced back to the Jim Crow era, when many states employed various tactics, including literacy tests, poll taxes, and extra-legal measures such as violence and intimidation to prevent Black Americans from voting. Following the enactment of the Voting Rights Act, VRA, in 1965, many of these tactics were outlawed. He didn't just attack Biden, he attacked the entire election system. He is the same man that wanted his sitting vice president, Mike Pence, hung by his mob of terror on January 6th. Number 5, environmental rollbacks, pulled out of the Paris Climate Accord, rolled back over 100 environmental protections, prioritized fossil fuels over clean air, clean water, and climate justice. He didn't slow progress, he reversed it. He took us way back and doesn't plan on slowing down anytime soon either. Number 6, the big beautiful bill, which should be called the big destructive and ugly bill, attacks on healthcare and will align 1% wealthy people pockets with more money. Trump tried again and again to repeal the Affordable Care Act, calling it the big ugly. No real replacement. just rip it apart. Millions at risk of losing coverage during a pandemic. Medicaid cuts, premium hikes, celebrated repeal votes with cake. Number 7, defunding DEI, diversity, equity, and inclusion. Trump signed orders banning racial sensitivity training, targeted DEI efforts in government, education, nonprofits, eliminated positions, blocked grant funding. Marginalized communities lost support during a critical time for racial reckoning. This was another attack that hit hard because it directly came from my African Studies Diaspora Studies degree. Our entire Africana Studies program and department gutted at the Ohio State University, as well as all the other federally public funded universities. This one is personal. Number 8, sabotaging the CFPB. The Consumer Financial Protection Bureau was gutted from within. Trump appointed leadership, weakened enforcement, cut investigations, and gave payday lenders a pass. Communities of color left exposed to fraud and discrimination. The watchdog became toothless. This is another one of Trump's boneheaded decisions that also directly impacted me. I was actively assisting CFPB on my own case file. I was a real-life victim of MoneyGram. They had lost and or mishandled over $400 worth of my money I was sending back home to Liberia for a family's member school fee. But because Trump decided to gut them, my entire case was dropped and closed, effective immediately. There goes my $400, gone with no accountability and no explanation. They got away scot-free. Number 9, rise in white supremacy and hate crimes. For anyone who still thinks Trump's and his administration is not overtly being racist, bigoted, discriminatory, and or biased, they are delusional. Remember when he said, "Very fine people on both sides. Proud Boys, stand back and stand by." Hate crimes surged, especially against Black, Asian, Jewish, and immigrant communities. He gave racism, homophobia, sexism, discrimination, and hate a microphone. Number 10, war on the press and truth. Called journalists enemies of the people, spread disinformation via Twitter, attacked fact checkers and scientists. Truth became optional, and that's dangerous for democracy. He thinks our right to freedom of speech and other constitutional rights should be violated, obstructed, and destroyed. I mean, when you can go up against the most powerful Supreme Court justice system, disrespect and challenge them without proper evidence, that's real white man privilege. Number 11, damaging U.S. global credibility, alienated allies, flirted with dictators, mocked NATO, skipped global climate meetings. America went from trusted leader to wild card liability. Number 12, tax cuts for the rich. The 2017 tax law overwhelmingly benefited corporations and the top 1%, ballooned the deficit, widened wealth inequality. Trickle down never reached the ground. Trump and Republican lawmakers are rushing to cut over $1.4 trillion in health and food assistance for non-affluent Americans. Trump continues to pressure Congress to extend over $3 trillion in tax cuts that disproportionately help the wealthy and corporations. It's harsh, it's mean, and brutal. Trump bill will cause most harm to America's poorest. President Trump embraces Robin Hood in reverse policies to benefit wealthiest and hurt those earning under $50,000. Number 13, Supreme Court fallout 3 justices in 4 years. The court swung hard right. Roe v. Wade overturned. Affirmative action gone. Voting rights on the chopping block. For those of you who voted for him and are now regretting, just know you are all responsible for the misery and hardships that the country and eventually the world will be facing. To those who sat at home in defiance and disapproval of the vice president candidate Kamala Harris, you are also responsible for where America is heading due to your inaction. The damage is already being done, and it is going to take years to even fix any of it. We just have to wait and see who makes it through the orange guy's reign. That's just 13 disasters I mentioned, not just political drama, but deep, lasting harm to everyday people. If you're feeling the negative impact, you're not alone. This was never about left versus right. It's about truth versus damage. Hit like, drop a comment, share it forward, and make sure you're subscribed because we're not done yet. If you like this type of content, please comment so I can make more. Thanks again. I'm POM-J. This is Supah Citizen. Stay sharp, stay woke, stay super.
Limit. If I want it, then I go get it. Make it rain, get a poncho.